the crucial stage between 2 to 5 years of age, and appropriate stimulation, reciprocity where you have interaction and communication are very important for the child to develop normally. There is a relative unpredictability in interpersonal interaction. Suppose the child speaks to one member of the family, depending on their mood, they may react differently. If they go out to play with other children, each child may respond differentially, and so there is variation, and the child thinks about the variation, he tries to adapt his behavior, and this stimulates their learning. So what exactly is wrong with screen time? So it's not three-dimensional. So obviously the child is passively watching something on the screen. There is no response that is necessary. The child may respond sometimes singing along with rhymes or making the actions, but that's not a necessary part. There is no response expected from the child. That's why even when you have videos after 2 years, you sit with the child and try to stimulate. Most of the videos are edited. It's a much faster action than real life, especially cartoons. I mean, these are quite bad for the first 2 to 3 years of age because they are fast paced, they are meant to stimulate laughter, which is not real really. And it encourages passivity of the child, again the risk of obesity as well. They don't understand what is real and what is on the screen, so they are forming their impression of life, and they do have an expectation that the life events will be at the same pace, will be as entertaining, as colorful, as musical as what they see on the screen. So what we call as boredom becomes established at this age, and it's not real term. It's boredom is created by us. We stimulate to a certain level, and then the baseline is set, and if the child doesn't meet that, which is impossible in day-to-day life, that you have your own work to do, you can't entertain the child as an edited video. So again, their boredom leads to more tantrums. So we often see children who have been exposed to excess screen time. They behave like children with pervasive disorders, which are like the autistic spectrum disorders. So they don't interact well. They are withdrawn. They are very silent. They don't react when their parents call out, at least in the beginning, and their language is delayed. They don't respond to our efforts. They also have more tantrums due to this impatience, which I mentioned that the screen time generates, and they prefer stereotypy. They want the same things repeated. So we are confused. Is it autism or is it not? And autism is also a brain development related issue related to the balance of the neurotransmitters. And as I said, screen time can lead to improper synapse formation. Whether this is a permanent change, whether it is reversible is a question, but obviously their behavior like this worries the parents at this age. Maybe it is reversible once you stop the screen time or when they start going out and playing with other kids. Majority of the cases that is the case, but at least in a proportion it does have some impact in the future as well. It's very important to intervene early and intervene aggressively, like total elimination of screen time, and that's what I expect the parents to do as well right from the beginning, as we will discuss in the next video. And it's very important that all caregivers should follow the same approach. So we shouldn't have a mother allowing TV for some time while the father is very strict with it. That confuses, as you can review in the video on discipline as well.